You know, one of the things I like about Final Fantasy XIV is how they name the abilities. For example, the dancer always has steps.
Steps? Did you say steps? This looks like a job for Johnny Steps.
Go away, you minor Yu-Gi-Oh villain. The jokes about card games were like 4 videos ago. Get out of here. Hey all, it's Nim or Nimicry if you're feeling professional, and welcome to the YouTube video. Now today we're going to be talking about that ranged DPS class that throws chakrams and steps all over everybody, including the battleground, and that is the Dancer. Now, before we get started, if you like what I do, or if you like the channel in general, why don't you click subscribe and hit that notification bell, that way you can stay up to date with everything the channel does. In addition, right now you should see a list of people on the screen. Those are my patrons. Those wonderful people support me and have faith in me, so thank you for that. But without further ado, let's get started with the Dancer. The Dancer. Now, dancing remains true to its current form, but one of the core changes for the job is the streamlining of its procs. Now, listen, I've played several classes in my MMO life, career, whatever you want to call it, where you are casting something and being like, please give me a proc, please give me a proc, please give me a proc, please give me a proc. And you finally get one, you're like, yes, okay, I can do damage, I can play my class, I can have fun playing the game. And when you get a bunch of them in a row, feels fantastic. You're doing damage, meters are high, everybody's great, you're the hero, yay! But when you don't have one, you're like, please, sir, may I have a crumb of RNG? And the game's like, no! No RNG for you. So the fact that they're streamlining this, of course, makes me feel better, because it's going to make people feel better. It's going to make people's game experience better. In addition, in a progression-based environment, you want to lock down as many variables as you can, because you already have enough. You have server issues, game issues, attendance issues, people issues, personality issues between people. So having proc issues on top of that with some of your best players is a problem. So I'm glad they're streamlining it. Instead of single target and AoE weapon skills generating their own distinct procs for combos, specific ones will rely on the same effect that grants the proc-based combo action. For example, both Cascade, single target attack, and Windmill, an AoE attack, have a 50% chance of now granting what's called Flourishing Symmetry, which then lets you execute Reverse Cascade for single target situations and Rising Windmill for AoE. The same goes for Fountain, single target, and Blade Shower for AoE situations, which have a 50% chance of granting Flourishing Flow, which will let you execute Fountain Fall for single target and Blood Shower for AoE. So the really cool thing about this is that no longer does it seem like you're going to have to choose, do I want to lose efficiency on single target, or do I want to lose efficiency on AoE? Instead, you can just use your attack and burn it as you will. So if your tank's pulling wall to wall, like, great, we're gonna group them together, you're gonna death ball them, and AoE, 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 until you got that one stubborn thing that's like, oh, you should feel special, because you, sir, that's right, random enemy in a dungeon or a raid, you get the single target. Tell your mother, she'll be proud. Ma! A main character decided to hit me, specifically! Oh boy. You've arrived, Junior. And then they die, of course. Improvisation has been tweaked and now grants Rising Rhythm, an effect that stacks every 3 seconds to a maximum of 4 stacks. When you're ready, you'll execute Improvised Finish, which gives you and a nearby party members, a damage-absorbing barrier. The damage this barrier absorbs increases depending on the number of stacks accumulated. At 0 stacks, it will absorb 5% of maximum HP. This number increases by increments of 1% with each stack, with 4 stacks topping off the damage absorbed at 10% of maximum HP. Additionally, there is a party-wide heal over time effect. Okay, so a little more support for a Dancer. That's not bad. At level 82, you get a new effect of Flourishing Finish. After successfully hitting a technical finish, this will let you execute a new ability called Tilana, an AoE attack that grants the effects of Standard Finish and Esprit to yourself and to your dance partner. At level 86, you get Fan Dance 4, a Strong Cone AoE attack. At that same level, Flourish will grant 1 stack of 4-fold Fan Dance. At level 88, Shield Samba gets its cooldown reduced to 90 seconds, which, hey, like that. And of course, the Dancer's final ability, Starfall Dance, a powerful line-style AoE unlocked at level 90, and it can only be executed while under the effect of Flourishing Starfall, which is granted after executing Devilment. Again, this is another DPS with a line-style AoE. The Machinist had Chainsaw, and other DPS had abilities. I only remember the Machinist one, to be honest. But the fact that they're all switching to lines, I wonder how that will play in progression environments and, of course, dungeons. If we'll have very mobile enemies, if you have to have stronger tanks in order to hold them, if you have to have more awareness of when to use your final abilities in addition to your limit breaks. So let's look at the actions and traits that are coming in. Of course, we have improvisation. Dance to the beat of your own drum, granting rising rhythm to self. Its stacks increase every 3 seconds up to a maximum of 4. Healing over time for self and nearby party members. The cure potency is, of course, 100, and the duration is 15 seconds on a cooldown of 120 seconds. The radius is 8 yards. So if they're going to cast improvisation, maybe call it out, stack, and then go from there. Improvised Finish creates a barrier around self and nearby party members. Damage absorbed increases with stacks of rising rhythm. At 0, you have 5%, and it follows at 1, 2, 3, 4, and at 4 stacks maxing out at 10% of maximum HP. The duration is 30 seconds. However, the ability cannot be assigned to a hotbar. It'll just happen automatically. Fan Dance 4 delivers an attack to all enemies in a cone before you with a potency of 300 for the first enemy and 50% less for all remaining enemies. Can only be executed while under the effect of fourfold Fan Dance. Now, it's interesting. A lot of the other DPS with their conal AoEs had a 60% reduction. This one only has a 50% reduction. However, it does also have a restriction of you need to have a buff to spend to use it. And we have Tilana. Of course, the radius is 15 yards. Delivers an attack to all nearby enemies with a potency of 360 for the first enemy and 50% less for all remaining enemies. The additional effect grants standard finish and Esprit to self and all party members designated as your dance partner. The standard finish effect increases damage dealt by 5% for 60 seconds. Can only be executed while under the effect of Flourishing Finish. Triggers the cooldown of weapon skills, step actions, and finish actions upon execution. Cannot be executed during the cooldown of weapon skills, step actions, or finish actions. We have Starfall Dance. 25 yards. Delivers a critical direct hit to all enemies in a straight line before you with a potency of 600 for the first enemy and 75% less for all remaining enemies. Can only be executed while under the effect of Flourishing Starfall. Now, again, we had on other DPS classes, it was a 60% fall off as opposed to a 75%. So it seems like the Dancer is not going to be a net positive on all things for DPS. We then have the Enhanced Technical Finish. Grants Flourishing Finish after executing Technical Finish. Enhanced Esprit. Increases the Esprit gauge by 10 upon successfully landing Reverse Cascade, Fountain Fall, Rising Windmill, or Blood Shower. Enhanced Flourish. Grants Fourfold Dance upon executing Flourish. Enhanced Shield Samba. Reduces the Shield Samba recast time to 90 seconds. And, of course, Enhanced Devilment. Grants Flourishing Starfall upon executing Devilment. So, the Dancer seems like it's going to be a fairly strong class again. After all, everybody likes having a dance partner. You dance partner with your strongest DPS. Your DPS's ceiling goes through the roof. You can also, another way, you can dance partner your weakest DPS and raise the floor. But in general, I find that it's more effective to feed the people who are already fed as opposed to feeding the people who are hungry. Because those players that are already good can actually take that 5% and get as much out of it as possible because they'll be aware of positionals and rotations, as opposed to just covering something up or other fundamental problems with just a damage buff, and not a huge damage buff at that. But tell me, guys, are you going to be swinging those chakrams around, dancing, finishing off, killing people with a killer flamenco? Or are you going to play a different class? Of course, if you're interested in learning about more classes, we have videos on all the healers, all the tanks, and we're working on our way through the DPS. Finally, I want to say that if you enjoyed this video, or you like me, go on and click subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you can stay up to date with everything the channel does. I've been told to plug this more, so I will. I stream on Twitch every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you'll often find me playing Final Fantasy XIV. I am on the Aether Data Center on the Siren server, and my in-game name is Nimicry Hopwater, so you can find me there. If you would like to talk to me on a more personal basis, there's always my Discord, which there's a link to down in the description. You can follow me on Twitter at Nimicry, that's Nimicry. And of course, if you really wish to go above and beyond the Call of Duty, there is always the Patreon. You can support the Patreon and gain exclusive perks, and that's patreon.com/Nimicry. But to wrap up, thank you for watching this video. I had a fun time making it, and I hope to see you in Endwalker. May the mounts you're farming drop on the first kill. Bye.